Well, the day has finally come. It's new bike day. Hey guys, Josh here again with Daily Mountain Bike Rider, and I'm super stoked for today. It's been a long time coming. It is new bike day. And no, I'm not talking about my hardtail back here, my NS Eccentric. It's finally time to show you guys my full suspension bike for the year from NS Bikes, the NS Define. And if you haven't been with the channel very long, then what you don't realize is I've been waiting for this bike for a while. Let me show you. You see, I've had this box in my garage for the last couple months and I've looked at it every single day. And while it may not seem like much, this is actually everything that's going on my full suspension bike. All I need is the frame. And it may not look like much, but it really adds up. First off, back over here, I have my wheel set. These are the FS Gradient carbon rims. They're a 29-inch internal width. I've got my Shimano Icetec rotors, my Shimano drivetrain. Then in the box, I've got my awesome FSA SOK cranks. I've got a bottom bracket, my brand new pedals that I love to use. I've got my XT quad piston brake sitting over here. Carbon handlebar from FSA, Flowtron seat post. I mean, it's all sitting here brand new in the package, ready to take to the bike shop. Just needed one more thing. And here it is for the first time, my 2019 full suspension frame, an NS Define size medium. And the coolest part about it is by changing this little mount right here and getting a different shock, you can change the travel from 130 millimeters up to 150 and then change the fork accordingly. Not only that, as you can see, the top tube has a unique little opening here. That's because it's actually designed to be able to adjust the reach by 10 millimeters. So if it feels long, you can make it closer. If it feels short, you can make it longer. Like I said, it's full carbon, it has amazing geometry, it's absolutely beautiful. If you want to find out some more information, just click the link below and you can check out all the details on this bike. But you'll notice it's missing one thing right here and up here. That's because there's one thing I still don't have for this bike, and that is suspension. And the reason I don't have suspension is because I've been thinking through what suspension do I want for this bike, and not only just like what brand, right? But what is going to be the best for me. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my frame, take my box, take my wheel set, go down to the Losco, my absolute favorite bike shop in the world, and it's awesome because it's here in Bellingham, Washington. And I'm gonna go talk to the professionals down there and have a discussion with them of what suspension is going to best suit my needs. Why them? Well, they know way more than I do. So let's get over there. Let's take all this stuff with me. All right, and we're at the Losco that quickly. Got the frame. Now it's time to go get some advice because, as we know, I need all the help I can get. Russ, Mike, it's finally here.
Hey!
The golden bike.
Black Beauty!
Yeah.
What's up, baby?
It's not quite golden, but the hope is to make it maybe a little more gold.
Okay, yeah, we have solid gold parts we can put on.
Awesome. As you guys see, I have everything I need right there. I was gonna ride that down at Whistler, but I thought I might as well get some suspension for it. Do you guys use suspension? Do you have that here?
We do.
I like it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, the reason I'm here is because both of you, both Mike and Russ, if you haven't met Russ before, he is the man behind the CRD right here. You better check him out. Anyway, you guys both know way more about bikes than me. Like, you two combined is like 10 of me equally. So I'm wondering what the best suspension is, or not the best suspension out there, but the best suspension for me. So do you guys think you can help?
Yeah, we've got options.
Options?
You want to talk about it?
Let's talk about it. All right, so we're over here at the suspension wall. Russ is gonna help me out because he's the man who knows it all. So Russ, let's start with the fork. So I've used both a Lyric before on my Evil Reckoning 160, really liked it. Felt like it was really linear, it was simple. And then I also used the 36 on my Transition Sentinel. Love the adjustability, but I'm curious, what's the pros and cons with both? And the big question I have for you is, my goal for this fork is I need 2 different air sleeves so that I can reduce it from 160 to 140 when I put a different rear shock on. So what are my options?
Well, you're in luck. Both forks, both the 36 and the Lyric, are very similar in the way you change the travel and the parts you need. The parts for both of them are about $45, and it takes about a half an hour to change your travel.
So Russ, when it comes to adjustability, I know RockShox now has their Lyric RC2.
Yep.
Fox 36 has all the bells and whistles. Which one would you say is more adjustable? Which one is more plug and play?
I would say they're pretty much on par now. You technically have a high and low speed rebound adjustment on the Fox on the Grip 2 damper, whereas the Lyrics is going to be a single stage rebound adjustment with high and low speed compression damping. And the biggest difference I find between the two forks is that the 36 in general has a little bit more of a supportive feel, whereas the Lyric feels a little bit more supple. So I think for, perhaps someone, getting into the sport, I think the Lyric feels better for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And as you go higher end, the 36 offers a little bit more support for going really fast. And in between, for most people, it's really personal preference.
All right, Russ, so I think I'll go with the 36. I know it's a safe bet,
Yep.
and I can tune it. So let's talk rear suspension, because this is where I have the biggest questions, right? I've used a DPX2 before. I have not used a coil. I'm pretty interested in them. I'm super interested in the Float X2 as well. Can you give us like a quick rundown? What's the big advantages? What are the differences? What might work good for me?
Well, the easy thing to the eye is that an air shock is going to be lighter than a coil shock. Coil shocks do have some advantages. They have a little bit more small bump sensitivity. And other than that, really it comes down to personal taste and actually what your frame is made for. A lot of frames that are made for a air shock are a little bit too linear and will bottom out easy with a coil. And a lot of frames that are made for a coil, they'll be a little too rampy and won't use all their travel as easy as they should with an air shock.
Yeah, that's one thing that I was curious about. So my bike's, I think it's a Horse Link. I don't know if those are linear or is it still just depend on the brand?
It depends on the brand and how they design the bike.
Yeah.
Most trail frames, enduro frames, most of them are designed around an air shock.
Yeah.
And it's best just to ask the manufacturer and see what works well with their frame.
So air shock's a safe bet. So I'm curious about the X2. What's the advantages of that over a DPX2 that I've used before?
So the advantages of the X2 are really the tunability of the shock. You've got independent high and low speed compression, independent high and low speed rebound. You've also got a climb mode that you can access on the shock. It's also a pretty large oil volume, so it's going to stay cooler longer.
Well, I'm doing a big enduro coming up with a super long, like 15-minute stage, and so the cooler oil.
I think this is your shock.
Okay, well, I want to try the Float X2. I like the adjustability idea. The only question is, do you guys have that in my size?
Let's check. Hey Mike,
Yo.
do we have a 205/65 Float X2?
Yeah. We do.
Sick.
Awesome. I am super stoked on this one, Russ. I'm most curious just to try this out and see how it compares to the, man, look how beefy it is. See how it compares to the DPX2, and then after I try it, I'll, for that smaller travel shock that I'll need for later on, I'll probably put that on after my enduro races.
Yeah.
Come back, talk to you again, and maybe we can order a smaller one of these or a DPX2. Yeah, we'll figure it out then.
That's a great one too.
What about that 36? Ooh, there it is. I've seen these before, but every time I see a new fork, it makes you happy. Does the feeling ever go away working at a bike shop? No, it's still awesome.
It's the same, it's just a cool feeling every year.
Every year, every bike, you just get to check out the newness of it. This is the exact same one I had on my last bike, but I can tell it's 10 times better. Super stoked for this suspension. Got the frame right here with a little bit of the orange. This is gonna match perfectly.
Yeah.
Now the fun part is, I don't really want to build this one, so I'm gonna leave it to you guys to build. And
That's what we're here for.
it's gonna be all set for Whistler opening weekend, which I'll probably already show a little bit of my ride at Whistler riding the bike, but I'll do a bike check very soon. So Russ, thanks so much.
Yeah.
If you guys want more info or want to get all of your suspension needs met like mine, be sure to check out the Lost Co. They are awesome guys. They will help you out with everything you need. You can call, email, check online, or if you want, I think they have a fax machine. So that's it for today. You know what time it is. Get out there, ride your bike, make sure you do it every day.